student, Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss branches of biology. Already you have knowledge and you know better than me because you have a book, and from the book many times you have been reading the biology book. This is in the first chapter. So when we do, I have covered what is biology and what are the major branches. Zoology, botany, and microbiology. But today we explain other branches of biology which play a great role in day-to-day life. So the first branch is the morphology. Morphology is that branch where the outer structure of the organism are checked, where the shapes, forms and structure of organism are checked. What type of shape of the animal thing is, what type of shape is the plant is. So there in morphology, you will study the structure, outer form of the animal or plants. Now you are clear that what is morphology. Morphology study the shape, form and structure of organism. The second branch is anatomy. We also knowledge about the anatomy. The internal structure of animal and plants study is called anatomy. So here we study the internal structure of organism. The third one is histology. In histology, we study the composition, structure, function of plants and animal tissue. वहाँ बात histology जो है, it study the tissue of the animal and the plant. So there you will see the composition from which material it has been made. And you will also study the structure, what type of structure it has. And then you will check the function of plants and animal tissue. So now you are clear that what is histology. Histology, the tissue study is called histology of the animal and the plants. Now come to fourth branches, physiology. Function of different part of organism and the activities occur in them. There in plants there are so many organs, and you will check these organs, what function they do in the plant. So physiology study the function of different part of organism and the activities occur in them. This is the fifth branch of the biology, embryology. Deals with embryo, formation of embryo. तो मतलब यह है कि there male and female gametes meet with each other and they form the embryo, and later on they create the new organism. So now you are clear what means embryology. Deals with embryo formation of animal and plants. Deals with embryo formation of embryo. How the embryo has been developed and what type of thing meet with each other they make the embryo, and how they produce the young organism. So it links with the embryo. और आम ज़ुबान में हम उसको X कहते हैं, X. यहाँ X किस तरफ होता है, फिर उसमें बच्चा किस तरफ. आपने सुना होगा parentum, where you will see the eggs and eggs, there the embryo form. So now you are there that deals with embryo, formation of embryo. Type study is called embryology. The embryology study the embryo of the animal and the plants. The sex number as taxonomy. The classification of plants and animal study is called taxonomy. Here we also gave a scientific name and we classified the thing, here species and genus, another thing of present. So now you clear that what is taxonomy, the process of classification of animal and the plants is called taxonomy. Cell biology. Here we study the cell and their organelles. Let's show that here they study the cell. And here some organelles are present in the cell inside. Mitochondria, these are some organelles. Here, this type of so that. This is called cell biology. Cell biology study the cell and organelle. So, the study of cell and organelle study is called cell biology. Paleontology. Palen means fossils and past some plants died and some human being also died and some animal also died and they put under the soil. Here we study the fossil and this is called fossil and fossil of plants and animal study is called paleontology. Paleobotany, botany, the study of plants. The study of plants fossil is called paleontology. Paleontology as well as the plants is called plant botany. But the animal plant zoology. So this is called fossil of zoology or animal we study. This is called paleontology. Now you are clear that what is paleontology? Here the first name fossil come. In the past so many mishappening have been occurred and some trees while some human being and some animal come under the soil. And the day passed, and last one, the paleontologists come and they find out these things and they study them. What was before, what type of human being in the past was, and what type of trees were there. So they study these things. This is called paleontologists. Immunology deals with the body system of defense against disease causing microorganisms. Here you will see immunology. There are some germs attack on the body. So immunology take the defense. They destroy it and they attack on the germs. So this process is called immunology. Deals with the body system of defense against disease causing microorganisms. There are so many microorganisms and they cause different type disease. But there the immunology, the immune are present. So they attack on the germs. So this type study is called immunology. This is also the branch of entomology. The study of insects is called entomology. In daily life you will see the insects. There are mosquitoes, there are dragonfly, there are butterfly, there are cockroach. There are so many animals which are present in the shape of insects. The insect, here we study the insect. This study is called entomology. I am also entomologist. I have done BCNS and entomology. The insect body divided into three parts: head, abdomen, thorax. So now it is clear that entomology is study of insect, genetics, transformation of character from parents to offspring. We also knowledge about if the two male female meet with each other and they produce the young one, so some character from the parents transmitted to the young one. So this study is called genetics. Transmission of character from parents to offspring is called genetics. Now come to biotechnology. What do you mean biotechnology? Use of organism for the welfare of community. In biotechnologists, they think how to utilize the living organism for the beneficiary of society. For example, if there are animals and they produce the dung, and so we make the well and we produce the gases which are used for the purpose of food. There are so many things with the help of which biotechnology plays the role. Environmental biology. Environmental biology deals with interrelationship of organism and their environment. Here the living organism are present and there is some environment present. Already you have now what mean environment. Environment is that place which is surrounding of anything. So if there is some living organism are living and there are plants and there are some other soil and there are stone and other things present surrounding the plant or animal. So this is called the environment. So they interact with one another. Sometimes they are positive, sometimes they are negative. So this type study is called environmental biology. Parasitology. Parasitology deals with parasite in all aspects of parasitism. How the parasite come and how they damage to the human health. So these type of things there are study in the parasitology. Parasitology is also the branch of biology. So you have knowledge about the parasites. Parasites attack on other body and they eat food from other body and they destroy and affect the health of that body. You have knowledge about the cuscuta, which sometimes kill another plants and be sarso. So they get the food from the plants and later on they destroy the plants. So these type of thing, when they get the food from other, so they are present inside in the stomach as well as in other places of the body. And in this study, which create a problem for the human as well as for living organism, this study, here we study the parasite. This is called parasitology. Parasitology is also the branch of biology. Now come to sociobiology. There is the behavior of the human, ants, white ants. These type of things we study. We study the behavior of the ants and we study the behavior of the honeybee, how they work and how they make the honey and what type of system they are present and who produce the young one and who play the form of work. Similar situation is also on a similar situation is also in white orange. And similar situation is also in the human being. And human, if you study the human, the female mostly live in the house, but the male go outside the home and they do some labor duty and they earn the money and then they purchase some food and they buy house. So this is called sociobiology. Here we study the behavior of the animal and the behavior of the plants. What type of behavior they have and what they do. And the last one is pharmacology. Already you have knowledge about pharmacology, their drugs and their effects on human being have been studied. Pharmacology, pharmacy. So there the scientists, pharmacologists, study the plants, study other organism for the purpose of drug, how drugs are produced and how these drugs used for the human being, how they control the disease, how they affect the human health. So now you are clear that pharmacology is the study of drugs and their effects on human being. Now you are clear. Now finally we conclude this lecture. But again we revise these branches of biology. You have knowledge about these things, morphology, any organism that be living, their form, shape, and structure. Study is called what? It's called anatomy. The internal structure study of the organism is called anatomy. Histology. There, the animal and the plant tissue are studied there. The composition study, structure study, and function of plant and animal tissue are studied. Here, particularly, we focus on tissue. Histology means the study of tissue. There, the animal tissue as well as the plant tissue. When we study with the help of microscope, sometimes we study cross-sectional and sometimes vertical study these things. This is called histology, physiology, function of different part of organism and the activities occur in them. There different part of organism function are studied and the activity occur in them are studied. This branch is called physiology. Embryology. There the embryo are studied. Two gametes meet with each other and they form the embryo and later on they produce the young one. In this type study, this is called embryology. Taxonomy. In taxonomy, we study the classification of the animal and the plants and we give the naming. And stepwise, there are species, there are genus, there are family, there are class. So many things are there and we will study with the help of taxonomy. Cell biology. Here we study in cell biology, we study the cell and their organelle which present in the cell. This study is called cell biology. Paleontology. In paleontology, we study the first organism, which is called fossil. When we study the plant, this is called plant botany. And when we study the animal, so then it is called paleozoology. Paleozoology. So now you are clear what is paleontology. Paleontology study the fossils of plant and the animal. And this study is called paleontology. Immunology. In immunology we study the immune which attack on the germs, which create a problem for the living organism, for the beneficial organism. There are so many germs present in this world. You will see the plasmodium create the problem of malaria. So there are the body immunity, and these immunity guard cell attack on these germs and they kill them. If the immune system fail, automatically what happens? There everything will be failed, and later on AIDS, HIV, and these type disease happen in the world. Entomology. The study of insect is called entomology. The insect body divided into three parts: head, abdomen, thorax. There are so many types of insects. There are honeybee, these are called insects. There are ants and there are white ants, and there are dragonfly and there are butterfly, and there are some beetle which create problem for flow. So this type study, which body divided into three parts, head, abdomen, thorax, this is called entomology. Genetics. Their transmission of character from parents to offspring occur. This type study is called genetics. And genetics, from parents the character transfer to offspring. And this process is called genetics. Sometimes you have also check that in day-to-day life, that one type variety we cross with the other, and we produce the new seed. And these new seed are digestible, are more, they give more production to the farmer. So this type characteristic is called what? Here the character transfer from one variety to other variety, and the new one variety which is produced, there are mixing character are present in this study is called genetics. Biotechnology. You also knowledge about biotechnology. Biotechnology play a great role. They are the living organism, and they think that how to use these living organisms for the beneficial of society. If you have some animal and they give a dung to you, automatically you will make a well, and in this well you will put these things and they will produce the gas. And this gas the people use for your purpose, with the help of which we can cook some food. So, biotechnology, they think about living organism, and they use for the purpose of what? For the purpose of human. So now you are okay, what is biotechnology? You have also knowledge about biotechnology department and agriculture university Peshawar. There are so many professors. They have conducted the research on these things and they try how to produce some material from living organisms which are beneficial for society of the country. Environmental biology. Already I have discussed with you what is bio. Bio means living. Logi means discussion. Here we discuss the living organism. But there is the environment. So there is environment, the surrounding of plant and the surrounding of animal, something of the human. So they affect the health of the people and the health of the crops and the health of the other living organism. So we study the interrelationship of these living organisms with the environment. and show to the community that of this thing increasing, what happened? There will be great uh, temperature will be occur in the future. For example, if there is plant and you are cutting these plants, so they will affect the environment. If there are surrounded so many air conditioner are working, so many freezer are working, so they release the warmness from the inside to outside. So they increase the temperature of the surrounding, and they also affect the human being as well as the city and as the world. Because if in one sector the warmness increases, what happens? So they affect the life of the human being as well as the life of the plants. They increase the temperature, and the temperature raise from 40 to above 52. So this temperature is very dangerous for the living organism. So now you are clear environmental biology. Parasitology. Parasitology study the parasite which create a problem for the human being. They affect the health of the human being and they affect the health of the plants. So the parasitologists try how to solve these problems, how to control the parasite, which have created a great problem for the humanity. Now come to sociobiology. Here the biologists study what the behavior of the human and the behavior of the ant and the behavior of the animal and behavior of the plants. So this branch is called sociobiology. Now come the last one branch, pharmacology. Pharmacology study the drugs and then they use for human creature. If there are some disease, they want how to control this disease. So they try and then they check the side effect. Either it is beneficial or not beneficial. So the pharmacology study the drugs and their effects on the human being. So it was again the last one, pharmacology. And now you are clear. Please share this video to other people and students because they listen and they know the branches of biology, how many branches of biology and what the biology branches play a role for the development of the was